Hello, my name is Shantoya Stewart, and I am here with.
This is Ronnie Mvula, the director, education director for the Anchor Primary and Secondary Schools.
All right.
And I'm Jotham Vula, the principal for the Anchor Primary and Secondary School.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, we are here in what part of Zambia?
This is the central part of Zambia.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So, you stated that you're coming from the Anchor Orphanage Primary and Secondary School. Tell us how this mission got started. Tell us how Anchor Orphanage got started.
Uh, we initially came from Riverside, Kafue. That is an organization, self-supporting organization, which is run by Americans. And we stayed there and worked there for a number of years, I think about 18 years, 18 to 20 years.
Wow.
Yes, so we just loved the way it was being run, and we were just, encouraged, yes, by the way it was done. And we really prayed that we could also have, run an institution like that one. So we were looking for a place until we found this place, which is near to the water, because at Riverside Farm Institute, they even grow, there's a very big plantation of bananas. So we thought we could come and do the same like they were doing. And so we came here. They're also running a school there. So we also thought, well, we can run a school. But when we reached here, we had to first get settled. Now, beginning something really, especially if you don't have the money, it's not easy. It's not easy. So we came here, and it took time for us to get settled, and we were thinking we could start the school easily, but we couldn't manage until what happened? The little monies that we came with, it was all gone. We had nothing. No food, no what. And I remember there was a day when we had completely nothing in the house, nothing to eat. And all we had was hard corn, dried corn. Yes. So, and we had to boil those for supper. So we boiled those dried corn, we boiled them, and we sat down to eat for supper. And my little boy, Kenny, was just a year and 9 months old. So it was not easy for him to eat those maize. So it was very difficult for him. And I didn't feel good to see my boy suffer like that. So like in the night, I spent a sleepless night. It was very, very hard. And so some ideas just came to say, well, maybe I can start a preschool, because I had the materials from Riverside. So I thought, well, even if we are not ready, maybe I can start a preschool so that we earn something, just a little money to help us, have something to eat at home. And so, in the morning, I just told my husband, I said, well, it was very difficult for me to sleep last night, and so this is what I've come up with. So he says, well, since you have the materials, maybe you can start. And for sure, we just told the leaders of the villages around, and they liked the program, and so they said, well, go ahead. So they announced, and people came, to register their children. So they came, and the children got registered, and we didn't have a classroom, so it was under a tree. That was our first classroom. It was under a big tree. So we were there, and I started teaching. And at the end of the month, they could pay just a 1 kwacha. Or is it a cent? Maybe I don't know how I can call that.
Just
a very small amount. Yes. So they started paying, and once they pay, at least you could have, could manage to buy a few things, beans, this and this and this, and rice, and yeah, so carried on with that program. But just a few months later, we had some newcomers, some new pupils who came on board. There were 5 of them. And after registering them, then I continued teaching them. But at the end of the month, then I was just reminding them to say, please, can you remember to bring the money? Remember to bring the money. It's time to pay. So everyone started responding. They started bringing in their monies, started bringing the... But these 5 newly registered boys and girls, they couldn't pay. So, you know, I started becoming serious. Hey, pay the money. You have to pay the money. But they couldn't pay. Then after some days, I decided to send them home. I said, well, since you're not paying, I'm not going to teach you. And so that's how they went home. Then the following day, one old lady, very old, she died some years back. She came with them, with 2 of them, yes. And then she says, I'm sorry, Mom, these are my great-grandchildren.
Wow.
Both their parents died, and both their grandparents died. And so I'm the one who is taking care of them. Now, I don't have the money to pay for them, but I just felt like even them could have, that education which others are, learning. But I have a small chicken, which I can bring, in payment in kind. So then I said, well, I didn't know that they are orphans. So if that is the case, I'm ready to help them. I'll be teaching them. And looking at her, she was very old. I knew that she couldn't even afford buying books for them. And so that's how I said, well, even the books, I think, books and pencils, I will be providing them. And so that's how she was so thankful. She was so thankful. Then just 2 days later, the other lady with the 3 children also, she came and said, I heard from my friend over the dam, over the lake, that you accepted to just help the children without payment. These are also my grandchildren, and both their parents died.
Wow.
So I'm the one who's taking care of them.
Wow.
So I thought maybe since you have allowed those to learn, maybe you can also help me to, continue with their school. So I said, well, of course I needed the money. We needed the money as a family, but again I felt, well, there's no way, because this is our duty.
Yes.
We have to take care of orphans.
Yes.
Yes, so I said, well, though we don't have money, but I have to help these orphans. And so I also accepted them in, and offered them books also and pencils. So that's how I started teaching both the orphans and those who were paying. The news went around. People heard that, for the orphans, she's not charging. She's just helping. So many people who were keeping orphans, they started bringing them in. Until they became many. So I felt, wow. But what we need is the money. But then it was very difficult for me to say no to an orphan.
Yes, yes.
So that's how we, just thought my family, I think this school, then we're just going to make it an orphanage school, because we can see that there are many orphans around us. And so those with money, they can help us. Those without money, I think we just have to help them also. And for sure, that was how we started.
That is so, so inspiring. I'm sitting here and I'm hearing a testimony, because anytime you're doing the Lord's work, God gives you the gifts. He already puts things in you so that you can fulfill the mission that He's put forward. And to see this thing start off from so small. And how many children are here now?
Currently, we have about 5 children.
We have 5 children?
Yes.
No.
That is both.
Yes. Now, right now, currently. So when we started, you're saying, so when you started, you had 5 children. how many children are here now?
Yes. Orphans?
Yeah, orphans and the school. So,
Okay.
so you said we're putting together those that are orphans and then those that need to be taught, right? So, how many total children are here
They're
at
above
the
500.
500?
currently. That includes boarders and others are day scholars.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And we've been here and seeing the wonderful work that you all have put forth. And it is a labor of love. You know, this is not something that people just say, oh, I'm going to just get into this and we're just going to make it work. No, you see that the passion is there. You see that the focus is to take care of the children, to give them what they need. And it's wonderful because now the community knows that they can come to Anchor Orphanage for help.
Sure.
And they're going to receive the help that they get. And I know that there's probably testimony after testimony of how God has provided, because even now you started off by saying that that you didn't have the monies, but God has provided every single time, and so the mission has continued forward, and the children are happy. We sit here, we talk to the children, they have smiles on their faces, they're happy. So can you share with us, because you've already shared, as far as the children are concerned, how they started off coming here. But I'm assuming that there's many concerns that the children have as well as the staff. What are some of the concerns that are necessary, that need to be addressed here?
Yeah, indeed, there are many. There are many. However, we praise God
Amen.
because we've seen that when you help others,
Yes.
then God also blesses you.
Amen. Amen.
So there are many people, just like the way you've come to visit us, there are many people who are visiting us. These can give you, maybe leave this little, at least it sustain you for some time. They help you with books for the children, it helps you for, just like that. So indeed, but there are so many needs around, there are so many concerns, like our orphans. Yeah, many of them just, they come, they don't have, they don't have
They don't
things
have
like
anything.
things like clothing, beddings. They don't have books. They don't have. So you have to provide. You have to provide. And yeah. Apart from that, you find that even the feeding, because the number is growing.
Yes.
Yes, the number is growing. And you find that the children needs a lot of food.
Yes.
But sometimes you may find that you don't have too much resources, to feed the children, for them to be having a variety of foods as there. We know the needs. We know what they're supposed to have. But sometimes we are not able to, because we are lacking. Maybe Jotham may have something to add on that one.
Yes. So basically, just as she has stated, the children, the staff have got several concerns, because this institution is still growing, and there's so much that is involved that requires to be put in place to ensure that things can be able to run in the right direction. So when we look at the children, not only the clothing, the clothing and other things, we equally, need to address them with issues to do with infrastructure. When we look around some of the areas where the children are sleeping from, such as the dormitories, they are way too far. We just got some certain old buildings that were left somewhere where some of the children are sleeping from, especially like the boys from the primary section. And they have to move a long way for them to come for their classes, to come for their meals at the dining. And the structures themselves are substandard. They require proper dormitories. They require good beds where to sleep from. Even when we come to the classroom blocks, we do not have sufficient classes. At the moment, some of the children, you find that they are even learning from the dining, where they're supposed to be having their meals from, because they don't have enough classes. And others have got shorter periods of learning. They would learn probably just from morning up to about 10 hours, and they'll move out of class to give room to others to learn. So basically they needed those classes, they needed the desks, even where to sit from is also another challenge. So all those are things that are required in play, you know, that are a concern to the children. We would not equally ignore the fact of them having good recreational facilities, because you know children will
Yes,
be
yes,
running up and down,
yes,
you know,
yes.
and they would require probably some good like football grounds, volleyball, to keep them busy and active, to be fit. And the very young ones,
park.
a play park. You know, they would need some swings and other things that will really make them, you know, like even the day scholars, they'll really, it will make them to come to school the other day,
Yes.
because they know from class I'm also going to go through some
Yeah.
playing, you know, a play
Recreation,
park.
yes.
But all those they don't really have, and much of the times they just have to spend with their books, and others have said too much of books makes John become a dull boy. Yeah, so that's those are some of the things. And the teachers,
The teachers, yes.
the teachers are putting in a lot of effort,
Yes, yes.
you know, to ensure that all this population of children that we have, you know, can get to learn and become better citizens in the future. But then even to them, unfortunately, I would say their houses, they are not okay. They really need, you know, decent, at least even low-cost structures that can be built. But then, even when they live there, they can be motivated to say we are living in a peaceful, comfortable
Yes.
environment, a conducive house. So I guess those are some of the concerns that we are receiving from the children and the staff.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, because it really is a self-sacrificing experience that you all have here. And even those that you bring on staff, they see the vision, they know, and they're willing to continue to work while things are being sorted out. And that is just wonderful to know that you all have people that are willing to do that, because they understand how important it is for children to have the nourishment that they need, mentally, physically, spiritually. It is just a well-rounded program. And I know that in the future, just as in the past, you may look back and say, wow, look how much things that have been accomplished thus far, but how much more God is leading you all to continue with is so wonderful. So if you could tell people how they can assist. So I know that you shared some of the needs, but you know, now we want to try to see how we can get those things taken care of. Can you share how they can assist? Would you know, I know that, you know, there's funds that are needed, there's financial, but also maybe time. So can you share with everyone how they may be able to assist you all?
Okay. So probably, if you may allow me to drift a bit,
Sure.
probably if it is in the on the aspect of the needs.
Yes.
I would like to put them in a certain category. You know, when we look at our institution with where we are located in the countryside, you know, yeah, basically there are some needs that are directly related to the school. Like I mentioned, classroom blocks. We talk about the dormitories. We
teachers'
talk about the
houses.
staff houses. We talk about books, even books. We don't have even a library, you know, books so that the learners can be able to do their studies. And even the classroom furniture. All those are requirements for the learners. Then if we also look at another aspect, these learners that we are having, you know, we have a mission statement to train the head, you know, their mental faculties, to train the heart, you know, to let them learn about the love of Jesus, and then to train the hand.
Amen.
So as these children are within this institution, there are certain projects that are a requirement, that are very important to run alongside the school, so they can be income generating, to make the school self-supporting.
Yes.
So that in the next 5 years, the next 4 years, we will not be able to turn back and begin to say, oh, we need donor aid here
That's
to support
right.
these children.
That's right. That's right.
But then as we run those particular projects, we also involve the learners so that we can train them to know how to do if it's agriculture. And even when they will leave the institution, they will equally be able to have the life skills that can be able to help them to grow and have their somewhere where they can begin to have their life begin from, you know. So some of those things, we've got vast land actually that is very good for agriculture. But then currently you find that we are having challenges, you know, to do large portions where we can be able to, or plantations where we can be able to grow corn for the children for food, vegetables for the school, as well as even to sell for income generating. You know, we actually needed things like a solar farm where we can be able to connect some engines that can be able to be run through the solar power, so that we can irrigate large portions where we can be able to generate, you know, the food for the children, and as well as income. And even as we do those things, the learners must be involved.
That's right.
So that they equally know to say, actually, if I get to know how to do this, I can still earn an income when I graduate from this particular institution. So those are some of the things that we require. We don't have transportation. We are about 120 kilometers away from the nearest town. You know, we don't have a truck. You know, getting food to the school, like probably some other purchases, is a problem. The school, some of the children that we have in school just live from the communities around here. They are not exposed. We needed a bus where we could be able to drive these children to, you know, even some urban areas where they can be able to get that education to see, oh, others don't even know how a flushing toilet looks like. You know, we can take them to those places so that they can be exposed. But we don't have all such kind of facilities near us, like transportation. So we need those transportation facilities to ensure that we can be able to thrive as an institution. And the solar farm, not only from the agriculture sector, even in school. Actually, I may not have mentioned that we are away from the power grid. We don't have electricity here. So actually there is need for quite a lot, to know, for us to run a lot of things. Even the kitchen, we are using firewood, you can imagine. And trees around the farm are actually depleting because we are doing deforestation, but then we don't have the means through which we can be able to cook the food.
Right.
So all those are needs. Now, the question is, how can somebody reach out to us if they wanted to help?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's
So
correct.
we don't have so much of connection on how someone can be able to reach out to us to do the support they can wish to do. The bank that we are connected to is Indo-Zambia Bank, Indo-Zambia Bank, and our account name is Anchor Orphanage. Do I have to, I think, anyway, that could be displayed. I'm sure that could be displayed.
Yes, it will be.
The account name is Anchor Orphanage, and the account number is 0111, or we can say 01111 04 quad 0, or 4 zeros, and then 21 and 2 at the end. That is our bank account number. To those that would be sending US dollar, our SWIFT code for the bank is INCA ZAZMLX. That is a Swift code number that one would have to use. And in case probably one has challenges to reach out using this bank account number, you can equally email us on an email that we use for the institution, Anchor Orphanage School @gmail.com. Or if that becomes a problem, one could equally contact us on these particular numbers. You can even use WhatsApp on these lines. I'm going to give 3 lines. +260 978 61 26 10. That's the first contact number. And the second one, +260 978 21 57 00. The last contact, +260 978 90 71 and 14
This
at
is
the end.
976. 976, not 8.
All right. All right. Probably there was a mistake on that one. +260 978 0976 and 90 71 14. There are others who may wish to use Western Union and other means. You can contact us and we can still be able, on these same lines or even using the email address that we have given, we can still be able to advise on how you can be able to get to us.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I appreciate you for listing out all of the needs that you all have. There's lots of projects, even now since we've been here, there's been lots of projects that are continuing to go forth. And so if at all in any way that your heart may be led to share in this wonderful adventure that's taking place here in Zambia, please give them a call, email them. If there's any particulars as to what project you want this to go forward, it would be best for you to call them so that you can know exactly what you need to do to assist in whatever way. It has been such a pleasure speaking to each one of you all, just to see the vision. I'm amazed. I really am in seeing what God is doing right now. And each and every single student that comes here, that their hearts are touched with the love of Christ. From the staff to you all as the directors, your family, everybody that's involved, to see what God is able to do in each and every one of these children's lives that come through the program here. And we just want to close out by just sharing what is your theme again for the children, just to make sure that we know that you are here and you're wanting to affect their heart,
Their
hands,
and the hands.
the head and the hands, the heart, the head and the hands. Amen. For the kingdom.
Yes.
All right. It's been a pleasure. And we'll talk to you all again soon.
Thank you. Thank you.